Hey, Jim Zaspel here with a really a really valuable training, and that is the most valuable question, most important question you can ask yourself when it comes to doing deals in real estate. And that is, I'll tell you what it is in a minute. So there's lots of different factors, and when it comes to negotiating deals and getting a seller to sign a contract with you. Obviously, there's lots of competition out there right now, which honestly, I think I'm like a capitalist at like through and true, right? I think competition is really good, not just for the consumer, but for the business owners as well, because it makes you better. It does eliminate the weaker ones. Obviously, I don't believe in evolution, but one thing I love about capitalism is in the business world, the survival of the fittest is absolutely a fact, especially in when the market takes a downturn, which it does every so often, right? So we're in a great real estate market right now. So what I recommend is you use this really cool opportunity, this awesome real estate market, to to strengthen your business. Use the luxuries it's providing you, meaning deals are selling quickly and for way more money than you think they're going to when you buy it. To really use that time to strengthen your business so that you're stronger when the market takes a downturn. And one of the ways you can do that is by asking yourself this question. This is a question that you ought to, if you're closing deals with sellers, if you're the person that's meeting with sellers face to face, or you're training somebody who is, you want to be able to know the answer to this question, and it's different for every real estate investor. And that question is this: why should the seller sign the deal with you? Why should that seller sell you their house instead of the other 15 people they're talking to? Why should they do that? All right, so let's think about what are a couple of different reasons that the seller might want to sell the house to you. And obviously, some things are probably coming to your mind already. Well, we can close quickly. We can buy it as is. They can leave the junk in the house. Well, no commissions. Guess what? That's like everybody else too. Okay, so get over yourself. You're not special for that reason. Although those are important, unique selling propositions that you ought to make clear, but don't stop there. If those who stop there are the ones who don't get the deal. And I almost hesitate right doing this video because it's so dang good, and I know some of my competition is going to use it against me, but that's okay. I don't believe in a lack of deals or opportunity. I think the more value you put out, the more you get back. So about 2.5 years ago, I think it was, I heard Tony Robbins. It was an audiobook of his. I don't remember which one. Anyway, and he's got a lot of crazy stuff that's like way off the wall. But obviously, a lot of stuff he says is pretty solid. And one of the things he said that I thought was total BS when I first heard it was, and you've probably heard me say this before, is that people, generally speaking, don't do what's necessarily in their own best interest. They do what makes them feel good, even if for a moment. Think about it. Why do people drink alcohol? Why do people smoke cigarettes? Why do people eat desserts? Why do people eat candy? Why do people eat too much? Why do people have affairs? Why do people drive too fast? Why do they drive recklessly? Why do people sabotage relationships for the sake of one argument? Why do people do lots of different things? Aren't necessarily in their best. In fact, none of those are in their own best interest, right? But they feel good. But because they feel good, even if just for a moment, right? And obviously, the stronger your convictions, especially if you're a Christian, then you're disciplined. God's changed your heart, and you want to do what is right, not just what makes you feel good. But that aside, let's take morals and ethics out of it for a second. Let's just talk about transactions, right? So let's think about, back to the question: why is a seller going to sell you their house, right? Well, the seller is going to do whatever makes them feel good. So unlike most realtors, we deal with people who are in a negative situation, meaning they're down and out a lot of times, and we're not taking advantage of them. We're simply capitalizing on their situation, what they need. So a lot of folks, their house needs a ton of work because they let it go for 30 years. They can't afford to fix it up and sell, which means they have to sell at a discount to an investor. This is like, supply and demand. So it's really simple, right? People will exchange dollars, will exchange value for the value of a quick closing all the time, right? So, back to the point, why would a seller sell you their house? Because if they sell it to you instead of somebody else, generally speaking, it's because you've made them feel better than anybody else has. You've made them feel better than anybody else has, any other investor that is, right? So let's dive into that a little bit. What does that mean? How does that play out? So I can tell you a story. House we just went under contract to buy in Perky-Omenville. I know for a fact she had previous offers, and she got others after ours, but she didn't sign with them. She signed with us. And obviously, one of the most important questions to ask a seller is, after you've built some rapport, is why are you looking to sell the property, right? And if you listen closely enough and long enough, they'll tell you their emotionally charged reasons for wanting to sell the property. So this lady, it turns out, I didn't meet her in person. I talked to her after the internet lead came in and booked the appointment for my acquisitionist, Corey, to go out there. So anyway, I asked her why she's looking to sell, and she's like, well, it's just me living here now, and my husband is very cooperative based on what has transpired in the last 6 months. What does that mean? It means that they're getting divorced because he was cheating on her, and he feels really guilty, and she can't wait to be done with him and this house and anything that connects her to him, right? So after we agreed on, talked about price a little bit and got to talk about certain things, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, how soon do you want to be done with this house so you don't have to worry about dealing with your soon-to-be ex-husband anymore about this house? And she told me. And the line that I told Corey to use, which he did use and got the contract, was this. And he says, listen, I understand you might be looking for more than this, and we could probably pay you more than that, but it's going to take us longer to close, and maybe it wouldn't close because our funding partner might not approve it. But this number, here's what I know. I know for a fact that by the date you just gave us, which I think was like 35 days out, the date you just gave us, we can close this property, you'll get paid, and you can move on with your life and know that your ex-husband is never going to have to deal with this again, because he's only going to be cooperative for so long. He feels guilty right now. He's only going to be cooperative for so long, right? You can know that this is taken care of, and you'll never have to deal with him again about this house. Would you like to go to sleep tonight, put your head in your pillow, and know that you'll never deal with him about this house? And he paused, and she sat there, and she said yes. And we were well under some of the other offers. Why did she sign with us? Because we spoke to her emotionally charged reason for selling and made her feel better, even though we were talking about something very negative, right? We closed that loop of pain, that source of aggravation of her having to deal with her cheating ex-husband on that property. So that's just one example. Obviously, burnout landlords. The thing is, you're going to buy a house. When you're going to buy it, you're going to pay what you're going to pay for it, whether it's a landlord, divorce, an estate sale, or just needs fixing up, whatever the case is. But how you phrase the offer and the benefit of your offer will totally determine how much of a discount you get and whether or not the seller actually sells the house to you. So hopefully that helps you out, because I'll tell you, if there's one thing you're good at, it's that. Don't just go into a house thinking it's all about the numbers. Obviously, as business people, it is about the numbers for us, but it is not about the numbers for the seller, even if they tell you it is. All right, hope you got some value. If you did, share it around. And as always, catch me on jimzaspel.com. See you soon.